You are losing battles you never even had to fight. Every time someone disrespects you, your mind goes to war. Every time a plan fails, your chest tightens with anxiety. You have become a prisoner to the words and actions of other people. But 400 years ago, letting your emotions control you meant instant death. The samurai understood that the greatest threat was not the enemy's blade. The greatest threat was their own mind. To survive in an era of constant chaos, they developed a psychological weapon, a state of emotional invincibility known as Mizu no Kokoro, a mind like water. Today, I am going to teach you how to achieve this state. I will show you how the greatest swordsman in history, Miyamoto Musashi, used this exact mindset to become untouchable. By the end of this video, you will no longer be paralyzed by overthinking. You will learn how to look at disrespect, smile, and walk away entirely unfazed. This is not about fighting. This is about absolute internal mastery. Chapter 1. The illusion of the ego. Why do you care so much about what others think of you? When someone insults you, a sudden rush of heat floods your body. Your breath quickens, your vision narrows, and you feel an overwhelming urge to respond. But look closely at that feeling. What is actually being attacked? It is not your body. You are not bleeding. The only thing being attacked is your ego. Your ego is the false image you have built of yourself in your own mind. You want to be seen as tough, smart, and respected. So when someone challenges that image, you panic and fight to protect it. The ancient samurai realized that the ego is the heaviest armor a man can wear. It slows you down, tires you out, and makes you an easy target. To become unfazed, you must practice the concept of Mushin. Mushin translates to no mind. It is a state of absolute emptiness, where the ego is entirely stripped away. Think of a mirror. A mirror does not judge the reflection. It does not get angry at an ugly face. It simply reflects reality exactly as it is without holding on to it. When you possess Mushin, insults pass right through you. You give your opponent nothing to hit. Chapter 2. Musashi and the Master of Delay. Let us look at a real, historical example of this psychological warfare. In the year 1604, Miyamoto Musashi challenged the Yoshioka clan, the most prestigious sword school in Kyoto. He was scheduled to duel Yoshioka Seijuro, the master of the school. Seijuro arrived early, waiting patiently for the young challenger. But Musashi did not show up. Hours passed. The students of the Yoshioka clan began to whisper and mock Musashi. Seijuro, the proud master, began to grow furious. He felt deeply disrespected. His ego was under attack. Where was Musashi? Musashi was taking a nap. He was completely unfazed by the expectations of society or the prestige of his opponent. When Musashi finally arrived, hours late, Seijuro was blinded by rage. Seijuro's mind was a storm of anger and wounded pride. Musashi's mind was like still water. Because Seijuro lost control of his emotions, he lost his technique. With a single, decisive strike from a wooden bokken, Musashi broke Seijuro's arm and ended the duel. Musashi won the fight before he even arrived, simply by controlling his own mind and letting his opponent's ego destroy itself. Chapter 3. Mizu no Kokoro, a mind like water. Water is the most adaptable element on Earth. If you pour water into a cup, it becomes the cup. If you strike water with a sword, it simply parts and heals itself instantly. You cannot hurt water. You cannot insult water. If you throw a rock into a calm lake, there is a splash and a few ripples. But the water does not hold onto the rock. Within seconds, the water returns to perfect stillness. When someone disrespects you, they are throwing a rock into your mind. It is natural to feel a brief ripple of emotion. You are human. But the weak man holds onto the rock. He lets the rock churn his waters into a violent storm. He thinks about the insult all day. He loses sleep over it. The unfazed samurai simply lets the rock sink to the bottom. He acknowledges the event and immediately returns to his center. Chapter 4. The ultimate power move is silence. Let me tell you another true story about the legendary sword saint Tsukahara Bokuden. Bokuden was riding on a small ferry boat across a large lake. On the boat was a young, incredibly arrogant swordsman. The young man was boasting about his kills, insulting the other passengers, and demanding respect. Bokuden simply sat in the corner of the boat, eyes closed, resting. The loudmouth noticed Bokuden ignoring him, and it infuriated him. He walked over, kicked Bokuden's foot, and demanded to know what school of swordsmanship he belonged to. Bokuden slowly opened his eyes and spoke with absolute calmness. "I study the Mutakatsu-ru," Bokuden said, "the school of defeating an enemy without a sword." The young man laughed hysterically and challenged Bokuden to a duel to the death. Bokuden agreed, but said they should row to a small nearby island, so the innocent passengers would not get hurt. As the boat touched the shore of the island, the young man was eager for blood. He drew his sword, leaped off the boat onto the sand, and screamed for Bokuden to fight. But Bokuden did not draw his sword. He did not even stand up. Instead, Bokuden picked up the long wooden boat oar. He placed the oar against the sand and pushed the boat forcefully back out into the deep water. The loudmouth was stranded on the tiny island, waving his sword at empty air. Bokuden smiled, yelled back, "That is my no-sword school," and rode away. This is the ultimate lesson in becoming unfazed. You do not have to attend every argument you are invited to. Disrespect only has power over you if you validate it with a reaction. When you stay silent, you strip your enemy of their power. They are left stranded on an island of their own anger, looking foolish. Chapter 5. The Discipline of Zanshin. Being unfazed does not mean being weak or passive. In fact, true stillness is the most intimidating weapon a man can wield. The samurai practiced a concept called Zanshin, which means lingering awareness. It is the art of remaining completely present and alert without showing any emotion. The next time someone disrespects you, try this. Do not argue back. Do not insult them. Do not break eye contact. Simply look at them. Pause. Let the silence hang in the air. Silence is a mirror. It forces the disrespectful person to look at their own foolish behavior. They expect you to fight back. When you don't, you break their script. You show them that their words hold absolutely no weight in your reality. Chapter 6. Musashi and the Master Strike. Let us look at Musashi's most famous duel against Sasaki Kojiro. Kojiro was known as the demon of the western provinces. They agreed to duel on the remote island of Ganryujima. Once again, Musashi purposefully arrived 3 hours late. He rode there on a small boat. On the way, he wasn't worrying about the fight. He was carving a wooden sword out of a spare boat oar using his small knife. He was completely in the present moment, no anxiety, no fear. When Musashi finally stepped onto the beach, Kojiro was trembling with rage. Kojiro drew his famous long sword and threw his scabbard angrily into the ocean. Musashi looked at him, smiled, and spoke his first words. "You have already lost, Kojiro." A victor does not throw away his scabbard. Musashi had destroyed Kojiro's mental state before swinging a single weapon. Kojiro attacked blindly. Musashi easily dodged the strike and struck Kojiro down with the wooden oar. Musashi did not celebrate. He simply bowed to the fallen master, returned to his boat, and rowed away. Chapter 7. The Dokodo, the Way of Walking Alone. At the very end of his life, Musashi retreated to a cave to write his final rules for life. He called it the Dokodo. 21 rules to live an emotionally unbreakable life. Rule number 2. Do not seek pleasure for its own sake. When you are addicted to cheap dopamine, your mind becomes weak and easily agitated. Rule number 3. Do not under any circumstances depend on a partial feeling. Make decisions with logic and discipline, never with temporary emotions. Rule number 17. Do not fear death. If a samurai does not fear death, what is a verbal insult to him? Nothing. Rule number 21. Never stray from the way. The way is your purpose. Your mission as a man. When you are obsessed with your own purpose, you do not have the time to be fazed by the opinions of others. A lion does not turn its head when a dog barks. You must become the architect of your own mind. Stop giving the remote control of your emotions to random people who do not matter. If someone wants to hate you, let them. If someone wants to misunderstand you, let them. Your peace is far too expensive to be bought by cheap words. Musashi said, "Do not let the body be dragged along by the mind, nor the mind be dragged along by the body." In a modern world full of people screaming for attention, easily offended, and drowning in anxiety, the man who remains completely silent, focused, and unfazed is the most dangerous man in the room. Walk the path of the sword. Master your mind. Become water. If you are ready to walk this path, subscribe to join the Brotherhood. Stay disciplined, stay unfazed. I will see you in the next one.